And on my own behalf, I congratulate you all. I welcome you all to this meeting. Today's speaker is Dr. Akshay Kumar Mishra. He speaks on the topic flowering of life. Now I give small introduction about Akshay Kumar Mishra. Dr. Akshay Kumar Mishra is a member of a Swadhyaya Parivar. He is very simple and polite by nature. He is a retired professor. He was very dedicated to his work and loved by his students. After retirement from his service as homeopathy doctor, he gives free service to the patient. Now he gives online service also. He is involved in many spiritual organizations. He published a magazine called Bhadrani Pashyantu. He is also a good writer and a lecturer. He contributes many articles to different magazines and gives lectures in different spiritual fields. Now I request him to speak. Please, sir.
Namaskar, brothers and sisters. Today's topic is flowering of consciousness. Flowering of consciousness. Chetanara Unmidam. Flowering of consciousness. Now, let us see what is consciousness. You know that actually consciousness is the source of everything. In this creation, we'll see that consciousness is the source of everything. Consciousness is indivisible, it is universal, and we'll see that the individual consciousness and the cosmic consciousness or the universal consciousness, they are one and the same. We'll see that the whole universe, the whole creation is indivisible. There is no duality here. Duality does not exist here. Advaita hai satya, Advaita is truth, and duality does not exist here. So, to conclude the first introduction, oneness is the truth. Now, on rational self-analysis, if we will rationally analyze ourselves, we'll see that the whole universe, the whole creation has participated in the formation of me. If I examine rationally, we'll see that the whole universe has participated in the formation of me. What I am today is the contribution of the whole of the universe. It has the sun has a role, the celestial bodies they have a role, and even if we take Adam and Eve as the first, human beings on earth, they have also a role in the formation of me. And even the inanimates also, not only animates, all inanimates also, they contribute in the formation of me. Only I find that in the formation of me, no me excluding me. And excluding me, everything in the creation has participated. The formation has not ceased. It's a continuous process. They are in the process of making. And whole universe is always is contributing in the formation of me. It is a continuous process. Gautam Buddha once told that the rose is made up of all the non-rose elements in the universe except rose. The rose is made up of all the non-rose elements in the universe except rose. We'll see that in the formation of rose, the rose has no role at all. Excluding the rose, everything in the universe, they have got definitely certain roles in the formation of the rose. This we should also realize, we should also understand this thing, that how actually I am made up of. if understanding this, if I still think that I am a separate entity, I am separate from the rest of the universe, then I am making a mistake that this vision is actually a wrong vision. Now, you will see that the all Buddhas, Purushas, all enlightened persons, all who have actually seen the truth, they are unequivocally, they tell that the whole universe is indivisible and oneness is the truth. Nothing, you can't divide, you can't segregate anything, even a small tiny particle of sand, you cannot separate it from the rest of the creation. Now, very nicely, a Santa, a very renowned Santa of Odisha, Santa Bhimamoi actually tells, Thabaru jangama kitaru patanga chahindele anusari sakala ghatare puri samanore lohe sana bada kari. If you analytically examine, Santa Bhimamoi says that Thabaru jangama kitaru patanga, or even inanimates and animates, anywhere you see, you will find that Sakala Ghatare Puri Samanare. Everywhere you will find the consciousness is present, not partially present. It's not a part of the consciousness that is present in any entity, but the whole of the consciousness is present in any entity of the universe. Completely present. It is a whole. Both. I mean, qualitatively and quantitatively, you can't actually segregate, you can't differentiate between this any small thing or a big thing we see externally. And coming to Gautam Buddha, actually some two cardinal principles of Gautam Buddha says is anatma and interdependence. Anatma means some people actually misunderstand Gautam Buddha, saying that probably Gautam Buddha does not believe in Atma. But it's not the question of Atma or body, it is the question of Anatma, means not self. That if you see analytically, if you inquire into yourself, you will find that there is no separate entity. Anatma, not self. No self is there. Because you will feel, you can understand, there will be realization, you will understand that actually the whole universe is you. You are not separate from the universe. Let's note this point actually. Anatma is not the absence of Atma. Anatma is not self. That there is no self in you. You are the whole. And the other cardinal point actually Gautam Buddha says is the interdependence. Paraspara Avalambi. All of us, everything in the creation, they are all interdependent. One is in the present situation, whatever see any entity is due to the fact that all are in their states, they are like that. If any of them would have been absent or would have been different, a particular entity would have been also different. I am like this because you are like that. I and you are all interdependent. Not only the human beings will find everything. If you take any tiny thing, even an ant, even a sand particle, if that sand particle would not have been present in its present situation, you would not have been like this, exactly like this. There would have been certain differences. So these things you must remember that they are the cardinal principles told by Gautam Buddha, Anatma and the theory of interdependence. Now coming to Bhagavad Gita, the universal consciousness or cosmic consciousness or the oneness of the universe is expressed in throughout the Bhagavad Gita. Throughout the Bhagavad Gita, this thing is always expressed that the whole universe is one. Dualities do not exist here. This is only you will find Advaita is the truth. No duality exists here. You'll find that to comprehend these things, actually you can see very easily, you will find very, very easily two verses of chapter 6, that is verse 29 and verse 38. In the verse 29, it's written that it is told by Bhagavan that Sarva Bhutastha Atmanam Sarva Bhuta Nichakmani Ikhyate Yoga Yuktatma Sarvatra Shamadarshanaha. It's the 29th verse of chapter 6. That means that Sarva Bhutastha Atmanam. When you find yourself, when you see yourself present in every entity. In every entity, all bhutas. When you find yourself, you see yourself in all bhutas, and all bhutas in yourself. You see yourself in all bhutas, and all bhutas in yourself, and that is actually the right vision. That is actually the right vision. Ikhyate yoga yuktatma sarvatat samudarsana. So ikhyate means to see, visualize. Actually, the yogi, yoga yuktatma, the yogi or yoga yukta atma, actually he could realize this, he could visualize this, and that's why he is having a sarvatra samadarsana. He is having samadarshi. He becomes samadarshi. Yoga in Bhagavad Gita, it reveals one meaning, that yoga means samattam yoga uche. Yoga, some people have tell it, they interpret in different ways, and they have different definitions of yoga. But Bhagavad Gita tells that yoga means samattam yoga uche. When you are balanced, when you are in equanimity, then only you are actually you are a yogi. I am not deviating to one side. When you are not deviating any of the two sides, then you are in a balanced position, and actually that is then only you are called as yogi. Because in that samatha only you can see the truth. To see the truth, there is only and only way that you must have to maintain equanimity. You must not be, the balance must be balance must be parallelly. The balance should not be tilted to one side. If we tilt to one side, then we cannot be called as yogi or samadarshi. So Bhagavan tells that a samadarshi yogi can visualize himself in every entity, every bhuta, and all bhutas in himself. Bhuta here doesn't mean only animates. This also includes inanimates and animates. Just like Bhima told Sthavaru, Jangama, Pitaru, Patanga. Similarly, in the 30th sloka, in the 30th verse of that same chapter, 6th chapter, Bhagavan tells like that, Jo mam pasyati sarvatra sarvancha mai pasyati tasyaham na pranasyami sacha me na pranasyati. That means that person who sees Jo mam pasyati sarvatra, sees me, that means sees God in everything and everything in the God. That means nothing is different from God. Nothing is different from God. God and all other things are one and the same. And only that person who sees like this, how can the God actually miss him, or how can he miss God? So this is very, very important. Bhagavad Gita, although Bhagavad Gita, right from the beginning till the end, actually tells one thing, that the whole universe is one. Oneness, oneness, and oneness. Now, coming to Ashtavakra Gita, you know, Ashtavakra Gita is told by Ashtavakra to his disciple, Rajarshi Janaka. Maharshi Ashtavakra narrating or explaining his disciple, Rajarshi Janaka. And I will say that what Maharshi Ashtavakra tells, Udeti bhavato vishwam baridheriva budbudaha iti gyante kamatmanam meva layam braja. Udeti bhavato vishwam baridheriva budbudaha iti gyante kamatmanam meva layam braja. See that the whole universe only takes birth from yourself, from you. Just like the bubbles, just like the waves, they take birth from the ocean. The ocean and the waves are not different. You are the ocean, and the whole universe is just like waves from you, ripples from you, ripples from you, arising ripples from you. The whole universe is only taking birth from you. You are the universe. That is Ashtavakra. Maharshi Ashtavakra is telling his disciple Rajarshi Janaka. And Rajarshi Janaka, after understanding this, Rajarshi Janaka, he tells that, Guruji, I could understand from your point, and what he explains, Rajarshi Janaka, Aham va sarva bhutesu sarva bhutanyatho mai iti jnanam tathaitasya non tyago non graho layah. So nicely explains he tells like that, Aham va sarva bhutesu, I am present in every entity, Sarva Bhutesu, Sarva Bhute. In every Bhuta, I am present. And Sarva Bhuta Nyatho Mai. All Bhutas are present in me. Bhuta here also includes the same thing. Animates and inanimates. They are present in me. Iti jnanam tathitasya. When this understanding comes in me, how can I give up something or reject something and accept something or cling something? This is how beautiful it is. So when you understand the oneness, where lies the question of likes and dislikes? How can you like someone? How can you dislike someone? How can you cling to somebody? How can you have aversion for somebody? Attract towards anybody? So that is the understanding of Maharshi Rajarshi Janaka, and that is explained by Maharshi Ashtavakra. Now coming to Zen Buddhism, one disciple of Zen disciple actually asked his Guruji that Guruji, you see, हम लोग अनपढ़ है. I'm an ignorant lay person. Please tell the gist of the dharma in a very simple way so that I can put it into practice. The Zen Guruji tells that, see, my disciple, no self, no problem. Now, what actually our intention is, we want to live on this earth very peacefully. We want a peaceful existence in the earth. And that's why we are searching, going everywhere or searching something, going to any spiritual organizations or doing something like that. Only we want to remain in peace. And the Zen Guruji tells him that no self, no problem. See, my disciple, no self. There is really no self or no separate me, no separate I-ness, I in yourself. Understand this point, my disciple, you will be happy everywhere. No self, no problem. Actually, all the problems it may be individual problem, it may be a problem in the family, it may be a problem in a state or interstate. You will find all things. Everything arises from the simple that I am separate. I am separate from the others. This notion actually is the cause of all the problems in the universe. It can be universal or it can be individual. Now, it is the mother of all the problems in the universe. And the day we live in the understanding of the cosmic consciousness or oneness, you will find the same, the very day, the very moment you will find on the earth will be converted to heaven. Actually, we do not require a heaven after death. We never require heaven after death. We intently require heaven on this earth. When you are living, you require actual heaven. Heaven is not necessary for the one who actually goes away from the earth, or it dies. Now, coming to Adi Shankaracharya, in his Atmabodha Grantha, Adi Shankaracharya explains like that. Hridakasudito hatma bodha bhanus tamopahu sarvabhyapi sarvadhari bhati bhasa yate khilam. Hridakase udito atmas. He tells that the Atma will definitely rise in your heart when bodha bhanus tamopahu. When the stama, the tamisra, the darkness is vanished by bodha bhanu, the sun of understanding. The sun of by the rays of the sun of understanding, when the darkness from your heart will be eliminated, totally vanished, you will find you can understand sarva vyapi sarvadhari bhati bhasayate khilam. You will understand that you are the whole, you are all pervading, you are sarva vyapi, sarvadhari, you are holding everything, and bhati bhasayate khilam. You are illuminated. You are illuminating everything else. You yourself is illuminated, and you are illuminating the whole of the universe. You understand this. That day, when understanding the light of understanding, the light of sun of understanding will illumine your heart. At that very day, at that very moment, you will see in your heart itself Atma will definitely rise. And so this is the understanding of Adi Shankaracharya. Now, coming to Isavasya Upanishad tells like that, Yastu sarvani bhutani atma nevanupashyati sarva bhutesu cha atmanam tato nama vijugupsate. Very thing, the same thing, because truth is one. Truth is one. Suppose in a room there are 2 chairs and you say X to go and see how many chairs are there in the room. He will come back and tell you that 2 chairs are there. You said why? He will go and see. Yes, there are 2 chairs in there. No, not that Y is copying X, but just because there are 2 chairs, that is the truth. Similarly, we find Isavasya Upanishad expressed like that. Yastu sarvani bhutani atyanavanu pashyati sarvabhutesi chatmanam tatona vijudusate. When you see, Yastu sarvani bhutani atyanavanu pashyati. When you see everyone in you and in everyone you see yourself, tatona vijudusate. Then how can you hate somebody? How can you love somebody? How can you hate somebody? There is only pure love. Pure love only remains, nothing else. You cannot hate anybody. And you will find, Maharshi, Ramana Maharshi, Ramana Maharshi has written one book that is Grantha. It is Upadesa Sara. Upadesa Sara, actually. And you see that Upadesa Sara does not contain any advice to anybody. It is a revelation of truth. Only those people who do not understand what is actually Upadesa, they give Upadesa, do this and do this. Suppose we tell that to become a true disciple, you must promise to get rid of your anger. This is an advice. We do not know that advice cannot be, advice is not a work, it is not a doable. We fail to understand that. Only we will say that when you see the truth, it is automatically that actually you do not have to cultivate virtue. You do not have to try to, give up the vices. No, not required at all. Because these are not work. Virtues are the byproduct of seeing the truth. So when you see the truth, when you see that the whole universe is oneness, you can realize the oneness. How can you hate anyone? How can there be aversion or repulsion towards anybody? No, not like that. So only it is required that you see the truth. Suppose you see that once you understand that taking poison, one person dies. So is it required thereafter that you make a promise that I do make a promise that henceforth, but today onwards I take a promise that I shall not take poison? Not required at all. Because this understanding is enough. Understanding is followed by immediate action. Krishnamurti tells like that understanding is followed by immediate action. Either you have understood it or you have not understood it at all. So no Upadesa is required. Upadesa is not at all required. It is only the revelation of truth. All Vedanta, all Upanishads, they are only the revelation of truth. Similarly, in Upadesa Sara also, Maharshi Ramana does not give any Upadesa. He only, there is revelation of truth. So coming to that, Maharshi tells like that, Ahamayam kuto bhavati chinnataha aipatatyaham nija vicharanam. So the meaning is what? Aham ayam kuto bhavati chinnataha. On careful self-inquiry, what I find? Where is who am I? Who is the Atma? Aham ayam kuto. Where from I have come? When I examine, when I inquire all these things, I find what? I patatyaham nija vicharanam. You by this rational analysis find the I vanishes. There is dissolution of the I. Just like we tell a story like that, once a toy made up of the salt, a salt toy made up of salt, wanted to actually measure the depth of the ocean. And as the toy entered into the ocean gradually, you will see that the toy itself got vanished. It merges with the ocean. Similarly, that happens. By this self-analysis, by this self-inquiry, I find that no I is there. And Maharshi Ramana tells that I am the universe. Because when no I is there, when you live by becoming something, you live as something, then you are narrow, you are limited. When you live anonymous, when you live nothing, you are everything. When you live as nothing, you are everything. When you are living as something, you are what? You are narrowing yourself. So Ramana Maharshi tells that actually Oi Patatyaham, that the salt actually doll, the salt doll actually disappears and it merges with the ocean. The salt doll becomes the ocean. And the understanding of Mahasi Ramana is that you are the universe. Mahasi tells boldly that I am the universe. I am the universe. Now coming to Swami Vivekananda. Swami Vivekananda, I have collected from his, the complete work of Swami Vivekananda. Swami Vivekananda tells like this, please note it. I am not this limited being. I am the universal. I am the life of all the sons of the past. I am the soul of Buddha, of Jesus, Muhammad. I am the soul of the teachers, and I am all the robbers that rob, and all the murderers that were hanged. I am universal. Stand up then. This is the highest worship. You are one with the universe. The complete work of Swami Vivekananda. You are one with the universe. I am universal. You are one with the universe. This is Swami Vivekananda. So, in nutshell, if we comprehend the understandings of the rishis, of the munis, of the Buddha Purusha, or the illumined souls, and also this Swami Vivekananda, like that, we will conclude that. Actually, you can conclude that. From that, we will find that the whole universe is one. The oneness is the truth. And this universe is undivided, indivisible, and I am the universe. That you can name it as universal consciousness, you can name it as cosmic consciousness, you can name it as Bhagavan, you can name it as Brahma, you can name it as Atma, or even you can name it as body. After understanding this, can you say that there is a difference between body and Atma? No, not at all. There is no difference between body and Atma. We say like that. Because when the understanding is cosmic consciousness, then how can you say that Atma is different from body? Please understand that. Just now, you have read in the Universal Prayer, the Theosophical Universal Prayer, Theosophical Society, what it tells in the first line, O hidden life, vibrant in every atom. What does the atom means? Does the atom exclude the body? Does the atom only include the Atma? No. Atma and body, we tell later, we divide Atma and body. We divide as mundane life and spiritual life. We divide the work into layman's work like house cleaning and cooking and sweeper's work, and we divide it into what? The spiritual work. Is there a difference between work? No. When you are completely involved in your work, that is actual prayer. And the work cannot be separate from each other. You can't tell that this work is better, this is inferior, this is superior. No, nothing like that. So remember this universal prayer, because if you just remember this, how nicely this prayer is actually prepared, and how nicely it is prepared. I think Madam Ani Besant has a great role in this preparation of this universal prayer. So once again, I am reading it. O hidden light, vibrant in every atom. For all practical purposes, remember, my brothers and sisters, you need not have to divide your Atma from the body. For all practical purposes, the Atma and body are one and the same. The cosmic consciousness is present, as the cosmic consciousness is vibrant in every atom. We'll find there is no difference between Atma and body. The Atma is Amara, the body is also Amara. Because you know, Atma, if you tell it as energy, neither energy nor matter. Matter and energy can neither be created nor be destroyed. And you know that matter is solidified energy. E is equal to mc square. What does it mean? That energy is equal to mass into the square of what? Light, the speed of light. So tremendous energy is solidified, that is called as matter. So for all practical purposes, my brothers and sisters, you need not have to divide Atma and body. Not necessary at all. Not necessary. For all practical purposes, Atma and body are one and the same. The creator and the creation are the one and the same. It is cosmic consciousness present fully everywhere. Now this is about we are don't have a discussion about some spiritual illumined persons. Now come to the scientist sector. The most developed branch of physics is the quantum physics. And you might be knowing the very renowned scientist like Tycho Capra. What he tells that quantum theory thus reveals a basic oneness of the universe. Same thing, because truth is one. Quantum theory thus reveals a basic oneness of the universe. It shows that we cannot decompose the world into independently existing smallest units. As we penetrate into matter, nature does not show us any isolated building blocks. You cannot separate this whole universe into isolated building blocks, but rather appears as a complicated web of relations between the various parts of the whole, the Tao of physics. That is the opinion of Tycho Capra. Now coming to David Bohm. Indeed, the attempt to live according to the notion that the fragments are really separate is in essence what has led to the growing serious series of extremely urgent crises that is confronting us today. Now see, once again I am reading David Bohm. Indeed, the attempt to live according to the notion that the fragments are really separate is, in essence, what has led to the growing series of extremely urgent crises that is confronting us today. Wholeness and the implicate order. In this book, David Bohm tells like that. So, if you deviate from the principle, if you deviate from the truth of oneness, you will find all the growing series of extremely urgent crises that we are facing today is the cause of, is the effect of that cause, that we forget. We fail to realize the oneness we forget to visualize the oneness of the whole universe. Now, Carl Sagan, the cosmos is within us. You see, what Ramana Maharsh told, I am the universe. But Carl Sagan said, the cosmos is within us. We are made up of star stuff. We are a way for the universe to know itself. The whole universe actually expresses itself throughout the creation. The cosmic consciousness expresses itself throughout the creation. You cannot segregate anything from others. Now we can come to the conclusion that the scientists are of the same opinion that the cosmic consciousness is one. You cannot separate it into separate entity, and so that is the realization. That is the realization of the scientists also. Now comes our role. After this understanding, what should we do? Now, what is our role then? Now, so if we can live in this understanding, this understanding of oneness, if we can live, we will find from the very moment the whole earth will be converted, will be like the heaven. Heaven is not a matter of imagination. Heaven is this earth is heaven. Just there is if we see the truth that this oneness, the oneness truth, if we see that, we'll find that heaven will be, the earth will be turned to heaven. Actually, चांद न बदले, तारा न बदले, नाम बदले भी ऐसा समान, कितना बदल गए इंसान, कितना बदल गए इंसान. So insan ka understanding. So insan is failing to understand that the universe is one, nothing else. Do you mean that in the swarga, तारा को बदलना पड़ेगा, चांद को बदलना पड़ेगा, सूरज को बदलना पड़ेगा? No, not required at all, because they are best in their states, their situation. Only our understanding, because we see the first things. Now the question arises. The title of the topic is flowering of the consciousness. Now, Chetana or Unmidam, whether actually how, let us see how there will be flowering of consciousness. Chetana, how Chetana will bloom. Now the question arises whether our Chetana requires any evolution, any evolvement, any development or not. You see, as we have already discussed, that Chetana, or it cannot be separated. It is cosmic consciousness and the individual consciousness are one and the same, and Chetana is always complete. Chetana requires no evolution at all. At individual level or cosmic level, it requires no, evolution or development or blooming at all. It is already blossomed. It is a blossomed flower. No need for further blossoming. So Chetana requires no blossoming at all. So is it that actually Chetana is covered by a veil? No, Chetana cannot be veiled. Chetana cannot be veiled. Chetana cannot be covered by any sort of veil. And Bhagavad Gita tells like that what? That Nata Bhasa Yate Suryo Nasa Sanko Natavakaha. Chetana, to illumine the Chetana, no sun is required, no moon is required, no fire is required. Because it is an illuminatory entity. So Chetana requires no evolution or no development or nothing Vikasa. Chetana Vikas is not required at all. Now, then what happens? Atma is that our Atma requires any Vikasa or evolution or development? Upliftment of Atma? No, that is also not required because we have already understood. Be simple, sir. Be simple, sir. Just use this. Read this when there is some doubt. You just read the first line of the universal prayer. Oh, hidden life, vibrant in every atom. Just read that, and you will see that actually no development is required at all because it is already developed. It is already illumined. No illumination is required. No extra light is required to illuminate. So, does Atma require any upliftment or evolution? No. Because individual consciousness and cosmic consciousness are one and the same. The creator and the creation are one and the same. So, not required at all. No, then the question arises, why in us this understanding is not coming? So that is the fact. We are already illumined, we are already illuminated, and we are not a part of the cosmic consciousness. We are the cosmic consciousness. We are not a part of the God. We are not, the God doesn't present, a part of God doesn't present here. Rather, we are God. Then, what happens actually? Then we are the ocean of peace. We are the ocean of peace. But what happens in reality? We are always drowning in the turbulent sea of conflict. There is conflict everywhere. In me, within me, in my family, and everywhere there is conflict and conflict. But in reality, where our stock is, we are the ocean of peace. So where lies the actual mistake? Where lies the problem? Now we have to discuss about. We have come to Patanjali, Maharshi Patanjali. You see, Maharshi Patanjali in his Yoga Sutra tells like that. There is a very beautiful sutra. The sutra is what? It is the avidya, that ignorance is the cause, nothing else. Ignorance is the cause. Ignorance is the cause. What is ignorance? Maharshi tells that avidya, asmita, raga, dvesha, abhinivesa, klesha. Some people actually separate these things as avidya, asmita, raga, dvesha, abhinivesa, klesha. But actually it is not 6 things, it is only one thing, that is avidya. Born out of ignorance in us is asmita. Asmita is I-ness. Asmita is I-ness. And there is actually no existence, real existence of I-ness. I-ness doesn't exist, but it is born out of ignorance. I'll just explain it, which is very important, but I shall explain it little elaborate it little later. But just let me finish this verse, this sutra. Avidya, asmita. Born out of ignorance is asmita or I-ness. And once asmita is there, it has got only two works. It can do only 2 works. Raga or dvesha. It will like someone and dislike somebody. It will like something and dislike something. There is likes and aversions. So, born out of ignorance is asmita. Asmita cannot perform 2 things. It can only do no third thing. It can only do 2 things. There is raga and dvesha. I like something and I dislike something. When you see, when I like something and dislike something, can I remain in balance? Can I remain in samata? So when I lose my samata, can I see the truth? No, because you are tilted to one side. When you are tilting to one side, you are judge. In our life, we are our judges. We are every moment judge. And if a judge is already tilted, it takes one side. then how can he judge the truth? How can he see the truth? That thing happens in our life. That born out of ignorance is Asmita. Asmita can perform only two things as Raga and Dvesa. It will like something and dislike something. And Raga Dvesa, Abhinivesa. Abhinivesa means clinging. To whom actually Asmita likes, it will cling there. And to whom Asmita doesn't like, it will try to repel it from him. That is also one type of clinging. So avidya has got two things. Avidya has asmita. Asmita has asmita. Ragadvesa, abhinivesa clinging, abhinivesa klesa. Means when I like something and I do not get it, and then definitely there is what? There is klesa, there is dukkha. And when I want that something should be get rid of me, and I fail to, that is not getting rid of me, then I will also get dukkha. So what the main thing is that ignorance. Main thing is ignorance, because born out of ignorance is I-ness. There is no separate entity what is called actual I-ness. You see, let me actually explain this here actually how I-ness is formed. How I-ness is formed. Actually, because it has got no reality. It has got no real existence. So how I-ness comes here. Actually, we have a belief that mu first or mind first. We have a belief that mu is first. Actually, mu is not first. Mind are first. First comes mind, then comes mu. For a actually healthy existence in the universe, we'll find on this earth, we'll see that no mind are real, no mu is required. No mu is required. We'll find in the jungle, you see the best rule. Anybody who wants to see the best ruling, he must go to the jungle and see that everybody here that there. Thousands of species of animals and plants all are healthy. Nobody could understand who is the ruler, but everybody is healthy and everybody is growing and growing and growing. So what happens actually? So actually, in human beings only, we will find when I-ness develops. In the jungle, we will find there is no I-ness at all. When I-ness develops actually, then only all conflicts will come. Then we will develop. But I-ness comes out of mind. Mindness actually. Mora. From Mora, mu comes. Mora first, then mu. Not mu first, then Mora. Suppose, let us examine it. Suppose you are being served 2 dishes. Today you are given salt, dishes with salt, curry with salt, adequate salt, and tomorrow you will be given curry without salt. Now you see that a salt-free dish has its own taste. A dish with salt it has got its own taste. So today you release the dish with salt, and tomorrow also you can release the dish without salt. But what happens actually in the day-to-day life when I am accustomed to take salty dishes? I think that salty dishes are tastier and salt-free dishes are actually not tastier. You see, this tastier and not tastier. Or I like salty dishes and I do not like salty dishes. This is mine. This is my opinion. This is my analogism that salty dishes are good and salt-free dishes are bad. This good and bad, likes and dislikes, raga and dvesa, these are called mine. And out of this mine only, I comes. If you do not divide that into mine, that it is not your opinion, then you can release both. Today you get salt-free dish, release it. Tomorrow you get salty dish, you also release this. Today you are living in a palace, you can release that, you can enjoy that. Tomorrow you are living in a hut, you can also enjoy that. Because living in a palace that is separate, separate anubhava, separate feeling, and also living in a hut is also separate, having a separate feeling. So you can both enjoy both these things. But if you fix in your mind that my opinion that palace building, living in a palace is good or better than remaining in a hut, finish. That is your mind. Mora. From that Mora, I is created. I-ness is created. So remember that. I-ness is created. I is created from mind. Mora first, then mu, then comes. Mu comes the next. So remember that, because this is very important. You may not read any part. You may not read any scriptures You may not read any Bhagavata, Gita or Vedanta, you may not read anything, but you have to read the book of life. You have to read the book of your own life. Every day you have to unfold your life, living the book, the pages from your life. That is more important. And do not fix that this is my opinion. If you live in your opinion, it is my personality, it is my opinion, it is my angle of vision, it is my I'm what? Like that, anything, it is my viewpoint, everything, this is mine. These minds form actually I. And these minds actually form I, which makes us, it makes our body a hot body. If I say that when serving the guests with a banana is good for this occasion, because I have got a lot of experience. I am now 69 years old, and I say that my experience, people will definitely like banana. And somebody else says that no, this for this occasion, apple is best. Then that hurts me, because I have that from that my idea, my opinion, I is created, and I always makes my body a hot body. Actually, I get hot. Actually, otherwise, if I do not fix this mindness more and more not you will find that mo is not there at all. If you live in truth, no mo can be formed. No, born out of minds, born out of your angle of vision, born out of your dristikona only, I is formed. So the most important thing is that avidya or ignorance is the most important thing, and born out of ignorance is our I-ness. Now, conclusion. Now, coming to the conclusion, we have seen that first let us comprehend what we have actually discussed. That the truth is that the whole universe is expression of the cosmic consciousness. That individual consciousness and cosmic consciousness are one and the same. That consciousness requires no upliftment, no flowering at all, because it is already in a complete form. It is already in a complete form. It requires nothing. Then what we have to do? What is our role? What sadhana we should do? Because we don't have that understanding. Because we fail to have that understanding, and we fail to live life in that understanding. For us, although heaven is here, but for us it is a turbulent sea, it is a turbulent ocean. So what should we do? Sadhana, I tell you the sadhana, the first and last sadhana. The first and last sadhana. Prathama এবং শেষ sadhana. What should we do? The first and last sadhana is what? That we'll find that living in awareness. Living in awareness. If we live in awareness, because the awareness is the truth. Truth, if we live in this, the awareness of truth. The truth is what? The truth is cosmic consciousness. That's the cosmic. The truth is we are indivisible. So when you live in this truth of this indivisibility, the oneness, you live in this the understanding of oneness, then what happens? You must have to remain aware of this. You must have to remain aware of every moment to moment. You must be aware of this. Rightly, actually, Bhagavad Gita tells one verse. The verse is Vimudha nanu pasyanti. Bhagavad Gita tells that Vimudha nanu pasyanti. No, Vimudha, the person who is already, Vimudha, Vimudha, he cannot see the truth. The verse is Utkramantam sitam vapi bhunjanam va gunanvitam vimudhanam pasyanti gnana chakshushah. Jnana chakshushah. The person who is living his wisdom, actually he can visualize it. Otherwise, nobody, the vimudha, otherwise vimudha cannot understand this. What is this verse actually tells? Utkramantam sitam vapi bhunjanam va gunanvitam. So actually what happens in the process of living, we remember two things. We have got two memories. One is the factual memory, the other is psychological memory. Psychological memory actually divides a body into good and bad. Anything they divides into good and bad. Psychological memory, it is good, this is bad. This is, someone is good, someone is bad. Like that. The psychological memory always helps us or prevents us to see the truth. And the factual memory always helps us to see the truth. The factual memory does not build I in me. The psychological memory builds I, Asmita, in me. And when the psychological memory builds Asmita in me, Asmita, what will happen? It will followed by what? Raga, likes and dislikes. So actually what happens? So Utkramantam Stombapi, Punjanamba Gnanatam. Actually, these things are settled. This thing is stored in our subconscious mind. So suppose we have discussed everything today, and everything remains us in our mind. So now we become knowledgeous. Now you can understand that actually the whole universe is one. So, but we fail to live in this understanding. Why? Because our conscious mind understands this, but the subconscious mind, where the mindness is stored, my more, my viewpoint, my drishtikona, my personality is stored, that does not understand anything. And when a right actually provocation comes, actually at that time it rises from the inner part, subconscious mind. So suppose you promise that I shall not get angry by anything, and you have made a promise, your conscious mind made a promise, but your subconscious mind stored that these things I like, this behavior I do not like. That is stored in your subconscious mind. So when somebody behaves like unwanted behavior, shows unwanted behavior, what happens? These stored from this stored. The Buddhist that territory alaya, the territory alaya is to store. It's storehouse. From that storehouse, it arises. And if you are living a awareness, living a life of awareness, then you can see, from this store, from this subconscious mind that I have stored that this is good and bad, it is now arising. If you see that at that moment, you will find that it will automatically go, it will away, but again it will go away. So gradually that will vanish from your storage, from your, that is subconscious mind storage. So Utkramantam Sitavati. Bhunjana, if it rises, if Utkramantam, if it rises, then you must have to suffer. You must have to, you must have to suffer your anger. I have made a promise not to become angry, but that which is stored in the subconscious mind is now arising out of outer provocation, and you fail to realize that because we are not living a life of awareness. We are not the behosi banchiga. We are living a life of behosi. So behosi banchile, you cannot see that. So if we are living in awareness, then you can understand, this is arising from my subconscious mind, then it's gone. Then you will not be angry. If you make 1,000 promises, you will find you will become angry. So that verse is like this. Utkramantam sitovakapi bhunjanamba gunanitam bimudha pasyanti jnana. So bimudha, the person not living in awareness cannot understand that. Another shloka is that achetasa. In Bhagavad Gita, wordings are there, achetasa. And acheta person cannot understand that. The verse is like that. Yatanto yoginaschaina pasantyatam avasthitam yatantopi aprutatmanam nainam pasanti achetasa. I am not going to listen that. So just remember that achetasa person, the person who is living in unawareness, the person who is behosh में, जो लोग बेहोश में लाइफ लीड करता है, तो he cannot see. No, nainam pasanti achetasa. Rightly, Mahavir tells like that. Mahavir tells that विवेक रे चलो, विवेक रे सुओ, विवेक रे खाओ, विवेक में चलो, विवेक में सो जाओ, विवेक में खाओ. That means live in awareness, sleep in awareness, eat in awareness. And again Mahavir tells that Asukta Muni. The definition of Muni according to Mahavir is what? Asukta Muni. Muni does not sleep. The whole life Muni, the whole life a Muni or a Sadhu lives in awareness. बेहोशी नहीं, इनका लाइफ में बेहोश नहीं, ये completely होश में. So Asukta Muni, we tell that what are the qualities of a sadhu? We tell that sadhu loves everyone. A sadhu is living a simple life. Or many qualities we can narrate about sadhu. But what Mahavir tells, Asutta Muni, that Muni does not sleep. He lives in awareness. If a person is living in walking, opening his eyes, if a person walks, can he actually strike with the wall? No, because he can clearly see the wall and the door. He will only pass through the door, not will go and strike the wall, because he is asutta. He is living in awareness. But frequently we make a promise that I shall not do this. I have listened in some other day that to be a good disciple, one must have following qualities. That he must be free from anger. Say chidchida hava nahi. Many things are there. So and can you do these things? Can you get these things by conscious practice? No, because these are not the effect of a practice. These are only the it is when you see the truth, then this automatically happens. All virtues are the byproduct of seeing the truth. Anybody sees the truth. Suppose you see the truth that this person is my brother. So if you see the truth, then you need have to make a promise that I do make a promise that I will love my brother. No, not necessary at all. Just the only understanding is that he is your brother. Enough. Similarly, when you understand that the whole universe is one, and we can live in that oneness, the whole consciousness, the cosmic consciousness is one, and my consciousness and your consciousness and everything else, they are not separate from each other. Then we do not have to make any promises to restore or to learn any virtues or to give up any vices. So ultimately, we find that what is the first and the last sadhana? The first and the last sadhana is living in awareness. So we should not live the life of achetasaha. We should not sleep while living. We should be always asutta. We should be in living in awareness. So that is the first and the last sadhana. And so actually our consciousness, the title of the topic was flowering of the consciousness. Actually, flowering of the consciousness is not required at all, because the consciousness is a fully blossomed flower. So you need not have any conscious effort. You need not put any conscious effort in the flowering of that consciousness, because you just have to realize. You just have to realize that consciousness is one and the same, and you must have to realize that the whole universe is one. You must have to should have the bodha, understanding that the whole universe is one, and out of this oneness you will see that the whole universe, your life will be converted to a life of only love and compassion. Only you will live in the domain of loving kindness. Thank you all. If there is any question, you ask. Yes. Not able to hear clearly.
Yes, sir. Thank you, sir, very much for your valuable and inspiring speech.
Thank you.
If anyone have any question, please ask.
हेलो सर।
ओके।
ये आपने क्वांटम फिजिक्स में एकत्व का बताया है, उसमें एकत्व कैसे आता है, थोड़ा एक बार बताएंगे क्या?
क्वांटम फिजिक्स,
ये उसमें एकत्व की जो बात कही है वो कैसे आ रही है?
वो क्वांटम फिजिक्स क्या? once again I am reading that quotation of Friso Capra. Quantum theory thus reveals a basic oneness of the universe. It shows that we cannot decompose the world into independently existing smallest units. As we penetrate into matter, nature does not show us any isolated building blocks, but rather appears as a complicated web of relations between the various parts of the whole. So that actually, to study this is a very complicated matter. It is a matter of science. But they, after thoroughly studying that, they have given us the gist. The scientists have given us the gist that they could realize, their realization is that this universe cannot be segregated into separate building blocks. We think that a separate self is there. Not like that. The whole universe is one. That is the realization of the deceased. That is the realization of the illumined persons, evolved persons, and that is also the realization of the scientist. That the whole universe is indivisible. It is indivisible. It cannot be divided. It is one and one. Oneness.
Okay, sir. Thank you very much.
Thank you, madam.
Sir, I have a question.
Okay, sir.
You have just now talked about the consciousness.
Right.
This our consciousness.
Right.
That our consciousness, suppose we are what is this karma? Karma is action. In Sanskrit, karma is action.
Right.
How we are creating karma, and
Right.
how the karma is created and stored in the our consciousness.
Right.
The karma is action, and
Right.
there are various types of karma.
Right.
Positive karma, negative karma, and we are consciously doing karma. Also, we are unconsciously doing karma. Knowingly, we are doing some karma, and unknowingly also we are doing some karma.
Right.
How the karma is being stored in some places. Karma is created in three ways: thinking, speaking, and action. Karma is created in three ways: thinking, speaking, and action. When we are creating karma, where the karma is being stored, and how it is manifested after 10 years, 15 years, 20 years, 30 years, that fixed karma is being manifested.
Okay.
At that time, we only know why I have created the karma, this type of karma, negative karma and positive karma. The negative karma is created and manifested in some other, even in next life also, life after life also. So how to curtail, how to stop that negative karma in our life and become conscious?
Right. Sir, you see, sir, you first understand, you could understood that the whole universe is one. Oneness, number 1 point. Second point, let us come to the Karma Gahana Sutra. Let us come to that. Actually, karma, karma and phala. Karma is always followed by phala. There is fruit of any karma. Suppose I touch the burning light, burning candle. So I am going to burn my finger. So, but you see that in this universe, no karma is segregated. So that's why actually Gautam Buddha tells that you find events to happen, deeds are done, there is no individual doer thereof. Anybody cannot perform any karma individually. For the performance of a karma, there are causes. For any karma, there are causes. Karma has got 1001 causes are there. And you see that for the present karma, we'll find all the karma that have been already taken part in the universe, not on the earth only, they are all becoming the cause. They are the cause of this present work. An individual cannot perform any karma independently. Every karma is interdependent, and when the karma is expressed, karma is expressed through someone. Karma is always expressed through someone. We will see that through whom the karma is expressed, minus him, the rest of the universe is responsible for the work. Do not think that I have done the work. So that's why Gita tells what? Prakrute kriyamanani gune karmani sarvasah ahankara vimudhatva kartaham iti manyate. When actually we are vimudha, we are actually when we are veiled with the what ahankara, then only we tell that I am the doer of this work. No individual person, any work cannot be performed individually. Rather, the person who is performing the work, minus him, the rest of the universe is responsible for that work. So independently, the action of the fruit of action cannot be actually, born, cannot be only bhogi baju kahanti. Can you understand Udiya? So yes, nobody can individually bear the fruit of to get the fruit of the karma. कौन सी लोक व्यक्तिगत भाव में तार कर्मफल को भोग कर पारे ना. सपोज कौन सी लोक नो इंडिविजुअल कैन इंडिविजुअली एक्चुअली ये कौन सी व्यक्ति तार कर्म फल को व्यक्तिगत भाव में भोग कर पारे ना. कारण प्रत्येक कर्म जिते बड़े जहाँ माध्यम प्रकटित हुए प्रकाशित हुए एक्सप्रेस्ड हुए, माइनस हिम द रेस्ट ऑफ द यूनिवर्स इज द कॉज. द रेस्ट ऑफ द यूनिवर्स इज रेस्पॉन्सिबल फॉर दैट वर्क. एक्चुअली you are or I myself is only just a medium through which the work is being expressed. आम भावुँ जे मु कर्म कली मु फल पाइबी. आज्ञा भूली जातु मो कथा गोटे पटे ये मु बोली किसी ना ये इंडिविजुअल मु बोली किसी ना. आप देखते ये वुहान रे गोटे है कौन गोटे मैंने गोटे भाइरस बाहर दी होल वर्ल्ड इज सफरिंग. कौन ये व्यक्तिगत कर्म फल भोगुची ना. ये कौन सी व्यक्तिगत कर्म ना से गौतम बुद्ध कौन कहले events to happen, deeds are done, there is no individual doer thereof, no work. धरंतु आम ये आज कथबार्ता होची आम आज जो कथबार्ता वर्चुअल ये होच कथबार्ता करते हैं डिस्कशन करते हैं एक्चुअली से कौन आपन दायी ना मुझे आम भाई आम कथबार्ता करूँ ना ता नुह. एक्चुअली आम देखा जदि धरंतु 100 वर्ष पूर्व कि 20 वर्ष पूर्व 25 वर्ष पूर्व जदि ये मोबाइल फोन जो आम इंटरनेट डेभलप न होता आम कौन कथबार्ता हो पारती ताहले हमर ये कथबार्ता पेंका सही सब दायी ना नहीं सब जिन देखा जिते जिन आम व्यक्ति जो कर्मटी माध्यम प्रकटित हुए ताकू छाड़ी रेस्ट ऑफ द यूनिवर्स इज रेस्पॉन्सिबल दैट फॉर दैट कॉज दैट वर्क. आम किमित कहबा जे व्यक्ति तार फल भोग करियो ना. कौन सी कर्मटी व्यक्तिगत ना गोटे करे कौन सी कर्मर परफॉर्मेंस को व्यक्ति निजे कर पारिबो नाही. आजिर कर्म पेंका यही आजिर कर्म ठा पूर्व जिते कर्म ये संपादित होती पृथ्वी रे ऑल द वर्क दैट हैव बीन ऑलरेडी परफॉर्म्ड इन दिस यूनिवर्स जिते कर्म संपादित सब गुड़िक कर्म जब ठीक ठीक सेमती न होता आज ये कर्म सेमती संपादित हो पारता ना. आप इंडिविजुअल कहीं आम से को आप भाई ये पृथ्वी रे किसी कर्म भल कर्म किसी मंद कर्म अच्छी ना. भल कर्म मंद अच्छी किसी ना आज्ञा कौ कर्म भल नुह कि कर्म मंद नुह. आम तो भावुँ सेमती आगे दी प्रकार कर्म आप कहते ये है गोटे प्रकार कर्म सी गोटे प्रकार कर्म. देखो मुझे कहूँ गोटे क्रिकेटर गोटे बैट्समैन कहीपर कि यही बॉलटा भल ये बॉलटा खराब कह ना. देयर मे बी 10 or 15 टाइप्स ऑफ बॉल्स फॉर अ बैट्समैन बट नो बॉल इज गुड नो बॉल इज बैड. बॉल गुड बैड जब धरी ने आप अलरेडी कौन है प्रेजुडिस्ड हो प्रेजुडिस्ड होगा आप जजमेंट करें यू विल फेल. आम तो सीधा आम डिस्कसन करूँ आम अलरेडी प्रेजुडिस्ड हो यही कर्मटा भल से कर्मटा खराब. आम एक कहीं भावुँ आम सत्य को जाऊँ प्रथम सत्य फास्ट सत्य हूँ कौन दैट दि होल यूनिवर्स इज इंडिविजुअल. आगे ये सत्य को देखा तापर आम विचार कर आम कहीं कौन पूरा भल कर मंद कर कहीं कौन यही प्रकार लाइफटा भल लाइफ से प्रकार लाइफटा खराब लाइफ. शुणु आम जो जीवन में बंचुचु आम मात्र तीनोटी संगे संपर्क आसू किसी व्यक्ति किसी वस्तु किसी घटना. किंतु आम कौन करूँ प्रत्येक वस्तु को प्रत्येक व्यक्ति को प्रत्येक घटना को डिवाइड कर देछु ये व्यक्ति मत भल ये व्यक्ति मत खराब ये वस्तु मो भल ये वस्तु खराब ये घटना मान मो भल ये घटना मान खराब. अच्छा जदि मुझे डिवाइड करदेली मु समतार रही कि मुझे समतार रही पार्ली ना तार मु सत्य देखिपारि कि ना मु सत्य देखिपारि सत्य तो देखी पारे गला इग्नोरेंस से आसला सत्य असत्य देख झुंटिव जी असत्य देखला से झुंटला. प्रथम बेसिक ट्रुथ को रियलाइज करवा बेसिक ट्रुथ होची जे वननेस अपन वननेस का सुनतु तापर कर्मफल देखा हां कर्मर फल अछि किंतु कौनसी कर्म एठी व्यक्तिगत न कौनसी कर्म व्यक्तिगत न होई अपन कहि परिबे जे एही कर्मटा व्यक्ति एही व्यक्ति करथिला तो एही व्यक्ति तार फल भोग ना सिंत हेई परिबो नै आगे काहे की गोटे सिचुएशन रे आपण भिन्न प्रकार काम करछि मु भिन्न प्रकार काम करछि 5 टंका पडिछि बाटे रे आपण तक पाई करी ताको नै करी खोजी लारे लोकटा कहार टंका पडिछि खोजे कर मु 5 टंका पाइले पॉकेट भर्ती कर देली काहे कारण मु जो सोसाइटी रे बढ़िछि मु जो घरे बढ़िछि मु जहा जहा पढिछि मु जो लोक संपर्क रे आसीछि मो जीवन रे जहा जहा घटि जाइछि एटा मु जहा एई जीवन रो कथा आ पूर्व जीवन जहा अछि ए सब मिसी के मते तैयारी करथि मु किए से मु किए एबे सब भगवता कोन कहथि श्रद्धा मयम अयम पुरुष पुरुषटा किए से पुरुष हो तार लाइक्स एंड डिसलाइक्स हमें लोक किमि चिनिबा तार लाइक्स डिसलाइक्स चिनिबा मु लाइक्स किंतु मु तळे माने व्हेन आई लिव द लाइफ लिविंग इन अवेयरनेस मोर लाइक्स डिसलाइक्स रहबो ना मोर श्रद्धा रहबो मु रहबो जे मु याकु राग मोर ए दोस्त ये कर्मटा खराब करबो ए कोन भल करबो किछि नाही डिविजन नाही मु पर आपन कहले कि आत्मा बड़ी हमर बहुत धारणा कोन अछि जे आत्मा अलगा बड़ देह अलगा है ना सिम डिविजन किछि नाही की कहला इज इट नेसेसरी एट ऑल हमर ये पृथ्वी पृष्ठ रे सुख रे बंचिया बेंका शांति रे बंचिया बेंका बहुत अछि एनफ द अर्थ हैज गॉट एनफ फॉर द I mean need the requirement of everybody, but it fails to actually fulfill the greed of any person. To fulfill the greed of any person, the earth has got nothing. But to fulfill the need of every person, the earth has got everything. So if we want to lead a very good, harmonious life on this earth, that is heaven actually. For that actually, body and Atma, they are not separate, not necessary at all. We divide that this life is mundane life, this life is spiritual life. Life is life. Why do you divide life into separate segments? No life is bigger or greater or better and this is something other is inferior. No, nothing superiority, nothing inferiority. Donder vimukta sukha dukha sange gasanti amudha padam abhyam tat abhay pada ki paibo je samaste dondoro vimukti rakhe dondoro mukti kimiti habo जेतले there is only visualization of oneness आपण तो वन नो देखिए तर आपनकर कोन रहबो आपनकर ग्रीड रहबो ना लोभ रहबो ना कोन आसीबे किछि नाही है जेतले एकत्व मन पश्यत जस्मिन सर्वाणि भूतानि आत्मविभूत विजानत तत्र कह शोक कह मोह एकत्व मन पश्यत इसा वाक्य अनुसार आउर श्लोक अछि भाषा अछि जेतले हम एक कथा जानि परबा तले हितरा शोक काहे मोह काहे एकत्व अनुभव कर परबा एकत्व मन पश्यत जे एकत्व देखि पारे ता जीवन रे शोक नाही मोह नाही कि ता जीवन रे कोन प्रकार द्वंद्व नाही एकत्व अनुभव कर परथरा है समस्त गुणर परिप्रकाश पे दुई आवश्यक अछि कहा पर रागी आ गोट लोक दरकार है कहा को कटु कथा कहि आ गोट लोक दरकार अछि है किंतु दुई र अभाव रे कोन गुणर परिप्रकाश हे पारे ना केवल अखंड प्रेमर परिप्रकाश हे पारे तेनु आमे तो वननेस को रियलाइज करि परबा हम देखिबा आ कुछ दरकार पड़ियो नै कि अरे व्हाट इज द नेसेसिटी गौतम बुद्ध को जे प्रश्न विभिन्न प्रकार प्रश्न कर जेटा प्रैक्टिकल दरकार नै से नीरव रह जानती अपन पछरे आत्मा अछि ना नाही भगवान अछंती ना नाहंती इज इट नेसेसरी फॉर आवर लाइफ नॉट नेसेसरी एट ऑल हम कहां विषय पर सोची कि हमर जीवन बंचिया पे हमर एते आवश्यक किछ नै कि तो जाऊ कर्मर सूत्र कर्मर गहन गति हो या खाली एतिक हम बुझिबा जे कोनोसी क्षेत्र रे आपण दुयर न प्रथम पर हमर कर्ता भाव आसे न हम बंधन हे गेला आपण कहीं भाबछन हम दुयर बेली यू आर आप प्रथम अंडरस्टैंडिंग हो ये अंडरस्टैंडिंग आसेला पर संगे संगे मुक्ति हे जो भगवत गीता कोन कहै छी जे जथा ध्वंसी समिधाग्नौ भस्मसात् कुरुते अर्जुन ज्ञानाग्नि सर्व कर्माणि भस्मसात् कुरुते तथा कोन कहै हम बोले जे ज्ञानाग्नि सर्व कर्माणि भस्मसात् कुरुते तथा जिमितिका यज्ञ रे आपण माने समिधा को दे देला पर अग्नि लगे दे से तुरंत भस्म हो जाए से परी ज्ञान रूपक अग्नि जेतला आपण अंडरस्टैंडिंग आसी आपण हितरे गिरी समस्त कर्म आपे ध्वंस काहे कि ना देन एंड देन देयर ओनली यू अंडरस्टैंड दैट देयर इज नो इंडिविजुअल डूयर देयर कौन से इंडिविजुअल डूयर ना अब फल आसला को आपण भोक्ता हे कोन कि बंधन सेट मुक्त हे गेला ज्ञानाग्नि इट इज ज्ञान गोटे एभली पावक अग्नि तार क्षमता रही ज्ञान माने नॉलेज न ज्ञान माने अंडरस्टैंड ज्ञान इज नॉट नॉलेज ज्ञान इज अंडरस्टैंड जेतले अंडरस्टैंडिंग जाको शंकराचार्य कहले जे बोध भानु बोध रूपक भानु जेतले अंडरस्टैंडिंग रो पिक्चर उदय हे जीवो हमर हृदय को दूर हे जीवो ऑल इग्नोरेंस विल वैनिश एंड देन वी विल सी दैट कर्ता व्हाट नाही कर्ता तो आपन भीतर नहीं भोक्ता आसी पड़ो आपन मो कर्म करी मो भोगी आसला कोडो आपन पूरा बुझिले जे प्रकृति क्रियमाणानि गुण कर्माणि सर्वस प्रकृति कर्म करी चलछि आपन इंडिविजुअल कर्म करता के नाहंती because the whole it is it कोन हम एक्सप्रेस करबा the whole universe dances in unison सारा विश्व एकता में नृत्य करी चलछि ई विश्व रे कियो गोटे अलग हैला जिनता गोटे ऑर्केस्ट्रा रे गोटे लोक गीत बोलुछि आ प्राय 50 कि 60 प्रकार म्यूजिशियन बदलुछि है समस्त एकता हार्मोनियसली चलछि है कहार जदि टिके भूल रहला से जणा बुझा पड़ जियो सेमतिया ई यूनिवर्स गोटे एमिति चलछि माने कि एतर कोन सी एक्टिविटी गोटे सेग्रीगेटेड हे करबनी ये सब एक्टिविटी जो ऑर्केस्ट्रा वाला चलछि कि द होल यूनिवर्स डांसेस इन यूनिजन दैट्स आई विल से दैट इट परफॉर्मर के गोटे इंडिविजुअल परफॉर्मर के इंडिविजुअल डूअर के इंडिविजुअल कर्ता के ना और कर्ता स्थिति की जरूर कोडे हम बुझे बडा कर्ता आसला कोडुची कर्ता आसला कोड कोनोसी कर्म त आपन खातिर पर ना आपन आज जो ये प्रश्नटी कले बा आपन जो ये मीटिंग अटेंड करछन जे आ 200 लोक कि 5 लोक पाखरे खबर जे अटेंड करि परना काई आपन आज अटेंड कले कोन आपन को जो कर्म जो आपन ना द होल यूनिवर्स आपन के एमती तयारी करछि केवल तयारी करे भी तयारी करछि जहा द्वारा आपन एभली अवस्था रे अछंती जहा फल कि आपन को मन कहिला आपन को बॉडी से आपे हेइयो आपे मीटिंग अटेंड करे बाध्य हमर कोनोसी कर्म हम हाथ नै आमे जेतेबेले केवल अवेयरनेस रे बंची हम देखिबा सर कोन हबो आम माध्यम रे यूनिवर्स कोन हबो राइटली आस्ते आस्ते एक्सप्रेशन हेइबो तो जस्ट प्लीज रिमेंबर दैट द होल ये हमर सारा विश्व रे जो कर्म चलछि द होल यूनिवर्स डांसेस इन यूनिजन इट इज ऑर्केस्ट्रा नो इंडिविजुअल डूअर इज देयर अपन डूअरशिप रे पसंद नै अपन डूअरशिप रे पसले अपन भोक्ता हेबे if you take yourself as a doer you will be bhakta but understand there is no individual doer is there events to happen it's happen there is no individual doer there
धन्यवाद
वर्तमान समय हे गेलानी मो अनुरोध करूची सिस्टर नीलेंद्र को से कंक्लूडिंग प्रेयर करिया पे सॉरी वोट ऑफ थैंक्स दवा पे
समस्तंकु मोर नमस्कार. Today we had the opportunity to hear a very enlightening discourse on the flowering the consciousness. Consciousness is already there in us in a bloom state. All we need is to discover it. On behalf of Siddhartha Lodge, I extend my heartful thanks to Dr. Akshay Mishra for his educative and informative talk. It will definitely help all the aspirants who are studying and practicing spiritualism. I am also thankful to President of the Lodge, Sister Mitalini, for organizing the monthly special lecture. It broadens our horizon and help us to understand the deeper realm of spiritualism. At the same time, I thank all the delegates who attended the online class today and made it a great success. Thank you all.
वर्तमान मो अनुरोध करूची सिस्टर कस्तूरी महंती की से कंक्लूडिंग प्रेयर करिया पे
असतो मा सद्गमय तमसो मा ज्योतिर्गमय मृत्युर्मा अमृतं गमय सर्वे वै सुखिनः सन्तु सर्वे सन्तु निरामया सर्वे भद्राणि पश्यन्तु न कश्चित् दुःखभाग् भवेत्. ओम शांति शांति शांति. हरि ओम तत्सत्.